Forever Young by Alphaville, maybe the greatest synth-pop anthem of the 80s. Today I'm going to show you how this track can influence your own writing style. Forever Young. Hi, I'm Espen Kraft, and today I want to show you something about the track Forever Young by Alphaville, one of my favorite top tracks in history, and a track that really made me think about my chords when I wrote my own tracks back in the day when I was just a teenager aspiring to buy my first synth. I had just a home organ at the time. The track has those beautiful chords, and they are very simple chords as well. There's nothing fancy or tricky chords to this song, but the way they've utilized those easy chords can really make an impact, as I will try to show you today. These tutorials are all about learning how chords can work together to create beautiful soundscapes and atmospheres and stir up some nostalgia and emotions that can take you back to that special place you remember, or if you're a young guy or a young girl, it can elevate you to a place you've only heard about, but hopefully you'll get a glimpse of what was the 80s. So what is going on in the track Forever Young by Alphaville? Well, we have those C, G, A minor, F, another G, D minor, F, A minor, G and C chords. That creates the first verse. And in Forever Young there's 3 verses, and they go into the chorus, and the chords in the chorus are pretty much the same as in the verse. So there's really very little variation going on in the composition, but the way Marianne Gold sings the vocals during the verses, and especially the third verse where it goes up, is really unique and very beautiful. So let's try a little bit of it and see what's going on. Let's start from the top. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the skies, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? So he just wanders away in the upper register of the C chord. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. So it just goes up and down those few notes, but the omnipresent pad string sound really makes the atmosphere very floaty and dreamy. And with the 80s reverb on the voice, it sounds so beautiful when he sings those notes. And another thing you can think about is the lyrics here. When they have a word associated with melancholy or sadness in a way, they use a sharp chord. But when they have those more uplifting words, they use minor chords. And that's a very clever, tricky way to fool our emotions slightly, because it stirs something up that's not really quite usual. We often associate mellow chords with sad words or a sad history, but here they use it often in the opposite way. I'm not sure that was something they were thinking about when writing this, because writing can come very instinct, based on instinct. But nevertheless, the impact is here in this song in that kind of way. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the skies. Hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? So here we have the D minor, and they use the word best. Expecting the worst, they use the F major. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? The A minor. So it's a very tricky and clever way to fool our emotions slightly. I love it. Let us stay young or let us live forever. We don't have the power, but we never say never. Sitting in a sandpit, life is a short trip. The music's for the sad man. And when they come to the third verse, they have to make some variation to the melody line, because it would be boring otherwise, or at least that's how we composers think. We have to stir up a little bit the things going on. So when they go into the third verse, he starts going higher and higher in register, and he has a beautiful falsetto, and he can go very high. So it's natural for him to go and think upwards in the scale. Can you imagine when this race is won? Turning all the faces into the sun. Praising our leaders, we're getting in tune. By the madman. Forever young, I want to be forever young. In the last parts of the chorus, he goes really high on the in the register. I won't attempt that here now, but it's very beautiful, and the way to do it in a song like this, because it's a slow track, it has mostly just a pad sound. It was originally a faster track with much more bubbly bass, but they pulled down all that stuff in the mix and left us with this beautiful anthem from the 80s. So the chorus in the traditional sense is pretty much as the verse, but they alter a little bit of the chords at the end there. They just take out a few chords and simplify it a bit in the chorus. Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever. Who will never. They just take out the A minor chord there, and that simplifies the chorus a bit. Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever young. And the simple drums come in and really make this an anthem. So it's a beautiful track, and remember, if you're making verses that are pretty much the same verse after verse, adjust the melody line somewhat, go up, go down, and adjust some of the tones, notes you're singing, and the variation will often be enough to make the listener gain momentum in the story you're telling, because you're always telling a story. Remember that. And if your chorus is pretty much the same chords as in the verse, use the same technique. Make variations, go up, go down, and make the chorus stand out from the verse. And use those variations, and use a sad chord like a minor chord when you're conveying something positive, and use a major chord when you're trying to tell something a little more emotional or sad, and the listener will pick up on that. Whether he likes it or not, he will think that there's something about this track that really gets into my heart or under my skin. So it's a little trick for you. And another thing, when you know your chords, you can start taking some liberties with the material. And I'm not trying to annoy any people here or stir up some big debates about versions of the track, because the original version is the best. It will always be the best, and it's the classic. But I've experimented a little bit with some other chords and a little variation in the melody line that can make this track a more pop jazzy in a way, maybe not as synth pop as it is now. And as a final afterthought to this little tutorial workflow session looking at Forever Young by Alphaville, I'd like to play you a little thing I made up of the intro to the track, the first couple of verses and the chorus, and let's see if you like it. Please say so in the comments, and if you hate it, you can say so in the comments as well. That's totally fine. So until next time, stay forever young. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the skies, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? Let us stay young or let us live forever. We don't have the power, but we never say never. Sitting in a sandpit, life is a short trip. Can you imagine when this race is won? Turn out all the faces into the sun, praising our leaders, we're getting in tune by the madman. Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really wanna live forever? Forever, who will never? Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really wanna live forever? Forever young. And that's another way to do it.